So we have Luis with Metasuyo. You can go ahead and get started whenever you want. We're all here and ready.
Awesome. So first, thanks for the invite. I always love sharing what I'm building. It's in the very early stage, so getting feedback from people from other places, but especially that have this crypto background, it's always helpful. And so first, a little introduction about myself. So I've been in crypto space since 2021, exploring different areas, but mostly around impact and also around culture. So crypto pulled me from my job here in Peru with the startup ecosystem and especially the social ecosystem. So I was working with social entrepreneurs through business incubators in many universities across the country here in Peru that got me to see the different realities in not only like cities that might be more metropole, more like bigger cities, right? Like Lima, the capital city where I live at, but also more rural realities and like Peruvian a third world country is very has many different realities that can be um, hard to grasp unless that you are exposed or live within those realities uh, even for a short period of time. So getting to know people that are working with indigenous cultures that are based in rural areas and creating products for maybe all over the world or just like being a part of a supply chain that most of the times ignores them gives you a perspective of what's happening within the country that maybe producing stuff that is like super high quality but still gets um, very little percentage of what they produce to the people that produce it. So that's being a part of my journey before crypto. And once that I jumped into crypto, it was because I started to grasp what was the impact with having a new way to think about economics, to think about money, and to redesign how economic exchange could work um, global wide, right? So that's 2021. I got into a startup here in Peru that was exploring NFTs, and that was also the way that I got exposed to this other area that was more cultural focused. So I started just collecting NFTs, but especially the ones that were building something along the lines of media franchises, which is a term that I barely hear in crypto, but it's actually the way that one would classify many of the NFT projects, especially the early ones that were trying to do comics or do I don't know like merch, but all around characters and maybe even lore. Many of the early NFTs collections did not have lore itself, like stories and characters that build up a world. It was just aesthetics, but some of them were experimenting with that, and I always got more attracted to those. Um, I got to talk with many of the people building worlds and writing lore and crafting these characters beyond just a first aesthetic look. So that also got me thinking this is a very interesting way to think about a brand and build a media franchise. And again, media franchise is just the name that it has in the traditional in the legacy world, where you build a brand around characters and stories, and you create products as a way to scale a business around these characters. So that's what you would call Pokemon, what you would call what Sanrio does. Sanrio being the company behind Hello Kitty and these Japanese characters that are very minimalistic but very popular as well. And companies like, of course, Disney and all of the IP they own. That's also what you would call Bored Ape Yacht Club, Azuki, Cool Cats, all of these Pudgy Penguins. They are media franchises. It's just like they don't usually call themselves that. Um, but if you think how a media franchise has succeeded in the traditional world, you can start to see like which of these NFT collections have an idea of what they are doing instead of just following the same roadmap that most of the time, of course, don't work. So that's my approach to crypto. Like I was in the refi space as well, in the regenerative finance space, because I was kind of following the path that I had with impact before coming to crypto. And in the intersection of these two things is that I went on to create this idea that eventually became Metasuyo. Uh, Suyo being like the term in Quechua, the language of the Inca, uh, about realms, about mm, yeah, like kingdoms, like a way to divide territory. So the idea was to create characters and stories inspired by our ancient cultures and link them to products that also cared about cultural identity and sustainable impact. And the way to link them was um, initially thought to be only around NFTs. And now we're thinking about like how we can do this um, with other texts as well. But yeah, it's about how we can think about digital and what's the role of digital products and experiences to expand what one can do, especially with new IP, which is always tricky to position. And there is also like something very interesting happening there, that there are many stories and fictional characters starting to pop up here in Peru. That was not really the case like in the last decades. It was for a very short period of time in the 70s, but that never really took off. And I'm kind of glad that we don't have a Thor in the means that Disney Disney has only do something like what the Emperor's New Groove, but that's not even really Inca. It's just like kind of looks like an Inca and has a llama on it, and that's it. But we don't have something like Thor that it's a god. It has a place in the cosmovision of people that might not be a lot of people that still believe in that cosmovision, but there is people that do so, and we don't have something like that, which is lovely because we don't have that level of cultural appropriation happening by a US or whatever company. So we get to start exploring these characters by our own, and this goes tied with how we can how we can better position the products that are right now exploited mostly by foreign companies that do not have any kind of concern about paying fair wages to indigenous communities that either produce or inspire the products that they create. So that's the line of thought that originally inspired me to create what we are doing now at Metasuyo. We just won this year like a grant from the government for startups, and we've been creating these characters. We are going to be launching some products in late July or mid August. We're still trying to define that, and yeah, it's been like an idea that has been forming in a way since 2021, because I knew that I wanted to do something with our own culture and to take that um, to a global level using stuff like crypto. But it's been kind of hard like to make that understandable, especially for potential partners here in Peru, right? Because it's not a topic that gets discussed a lot, and if it does it through the lens of trading, investment, stuff like that, not much about creation, which is something that I also do. Like I do educational workshops with universities, with local governments, and we've been doing a lot around creative industries and how they can better utilize, they can better use Web3, and it's also been helpful to identify how we can make the experiences more approachable for the potential audience that we are aiming for. So yeah, that's kind of what's behind Metasuyo. I would also love like to share some of the initial artwork that we're exploring. It's been a mix of like trying to get to aesthetic a little bit with AI, a little bit of it with illustrators that we're starting to connect with. And what we do know is that we're building two worlds within this concept of what we call ancestral fiction. And we didn't want it to call it like Inca or like set it in a single civilization, because that the territory here in not only Peru but in what was called Tawantinsuyo, which is the Inca badly called empire, uh, that has many other civilizations that have a very different way of thinking and seeing life. And we also want to like cover stories and characters from those civilizations, so we go for ancient. And yeah, that's the way that we're approaching creating all these. One of the words is kind of like a kung fu panda, so we have anthropomorphical animals, but of course inspired by the fauna here in the territory, but also the cosmovision, of course, like what's the archetypes for these animals in the cosmovision of the region they come from, and how different it can be for a dog, for example, and the role that it has in society, in the way of seeing the um, seeing like what's the spirit that they tend to have, um, which varies a lot depending if you are in the Andean region, you're in the coast, or you're in the jungle in the Amazon. So we want to care about that, about this. We want to like make these fictional and uh, entertaining stories, but being very close to the source inspiration of how ancient civilizations saw the world, and how we can use art and culture and entertainment for a way to um, make that much more approachable, not only for like Peruvians, but of course for the world. And yeah, that's what we're willing in Metasuyo.
That's really cool. I like the sound of that. Um, are you looking to use like attestations for proof of provenance? You were talking about like being able to verify that things were made locally and make sure that the rewards from those products and art actually go back to the community.
Yeah, like
Yeah, like
that's a very very good point. What we're doing is we're there is a government institution that is the one responsible for integrating technologies, for helping integrate technologies to industries, a very wide variety of industries. And they have installations across the whole country, all of them with a very specific industry in mind. And we are working with some of them to, especially with across food and textile, to make them explore some of these technologies, of course, that blockchain provide. Um, Attestations being one way of doing this, but there is like other routes that they are also exploring. So there can be an industry wide standard that, of course, we're going to be using, and we're going to be adding on top of that layer of information. But we want this to be, of course, accessible to all of the other companies that are responsible. And to make this an industry standard is something that we've also been pushing for. Um, we have good relationships with these institutions, and of course it's also helpful for us to get even closer to some of these native communities. It's very important for us that the stories that we build are not from the mind of someone living in the city and that's about it, but also how native communities can see their representation being accurate, and contribute to how they could think about these hypothetical scenarios, these fictional scenarios that we're building. So, um, yeah, about blockchain and how that can help with logistics and provenance for products. That's also super important, but of course takes time. And we've been pushing for that since almost the end of last year. Yeah.
Amazing. And I guess what kind of products exactly have you
Hmm. Hmm.
explored?
So so it's been exploring especially three kind of products. Um, so we have cacao, chocolate. We have teas, so herbs and what can be uh, what can produce around the herbs, because you don't only have teas, and also fashion. So in fashion, it's more like we've been trying to figure out what is it that we can do, and we're getting there. Actually, by the end of the month, we're going to be having some meetings in Cusco to get some of these initial products, at least in a sneak peek, to be published, and um, to start like doing stuff around clothing that it's not only that has these traditional techniques and um, materials that are used and provided by native communities, but also to put we're putting like kind of like Andean cyberpunk touch to it. So that might be one of the projects that I'm more excited about, uh, because I always wanted to have something like that, and building it's super fun. Um, yeah, but that's some of the projects that we're exploring. At first, we're also doing for the chocolate, for example. It's just a collaboration. For the teas, like we're getting like a more hands-on approach, and for the fashion products, we're building them. That's the team itself. Um, we also want to explore tourism experiences, but that's mainly for the second half of the year. We are going to be launching most of these by the end of August. Sorry, July or mid August, as I was saying, at least in the very initial stage, just to test the waters and see what can be improved there.
Sounds awesome. Are you unfortunately you dropped for a quick second, so I heard cacao, teas, and then um I wanted to ask if you were working with Ethic Hub at all. Do you know Chewy from Ethic Hub?
I know them. I haven't really approached them. Like in the cacao aspect of it, we were just like doing a partnership. Um, we do want to like get more involved, but of course we need to. We cannot pick a lot of things to build from the get go. So right now we're just focusing on tea and fashion, and but we can propose like stuff for this partner. Actually, like there is a lot of interest some of these companies that may already be exporting or are thinking about it with some urgency to see what blockchain can provide to them. And I think that's also something very interesting to be part of that conversation, not only with suggesting something that can be implemented, but also being part of the implementation itself. And yeah, I think that we're gonna see a lot of these projects come to life using blockchain within this year, but many more joining next year because sometimes things move slow in more traditional industries, especially if it involves something that does need like to take into account standards uh, like food, right, and beverages. That's it has some slow processes, but not that slow. Like we know that it can be done within this year, and we are very hopeful about what are the other kind of projects we can get involved for the next one. There are so many ingredients, so many different um, materials even that are being explored that I know the world barely knows about it. Uh, but when they do, they consume it a lot. So the little things that are exported, they always get like they get very good sales. Um, like stuff from the Amazon, for example, right? There are many fruits, there are many plants that haven't really been explored, and we want to be part of that process of uh, getting them to be known, but not only by the flavor, but also what's behind them. Because almost all things had well have meaning for the cosmovision of our ancestors. So yeah, that's also part of the equation for us.
Yeah, I like that approach, and I think, like you said, it's important to kind of steward that because a lot of plants and things that do come from the Amazon that are used for medicines and stuff are grossly exploited, right? And
Mm.
like you said, the true profits aren't going back to the local community. Um, so Oba One hopped in here right now, and I had tagged him because he's working on a great project, Wafa. And originally, when you were talking to kind of about creating the story, and you mentioned, um, comic comic DAOs and like the media
Metasuyo. Yeah.
enterprises. So we have Bored Ape and even Disney and stuff. Wafa's kind of building out a story also and integrating AR and Mud Dev, and it might be cool for you guys to meet and team up to see if there's any room for collaboration there because it could be a cool way to engage with some of these things. I know like AR and the Amazon probably is not going to be too useful, but it could be. Um, but yeah, so I just thought I'd mention that connection point so you guys can chit chat or reach out to each other afterwards or now, whichever you need. And for the clothing and stuff, are you looking into doing things like as techy as NFC tracking of?
Yeah, like well, first recommendation for the connection. It seems super interesting what you want. Like I'm looking forward to talk. Like these AR experiences is definitely something that we're looking for. Not really like something that we are building right now, but it would be interesting to see if there is room for collaboration. And regarding these, uh, the last question, I'm sorry, what was it? Like I didn't want it to miss like
Yeah, no,
talking
sorry.
about
Thank you.
yeah.
I should have taken a breath there to let you respond to the collaboration call out. So for example, Metafactory right now is doing things with NFC tags that allows you to kind of engage with your physical clothing, but also it's connected to the smart contract that is an NFT that you can engage with in like a metaverse world or a VR world. Um, and I've seen that in some other projects as
Mhm.
well. Yeah,
Yep.
Displix.
Yeah, for sure. Like that's for sure something that we are looking forward to explore with. That should start in July. So the first thing that we're doing might not have integrations of that nature, but we want to do that starting in July, which is when we get like the funds that we want from the government, which is they get dedicated to explore exactly that. Like so, we're gonna be integrating NFC, and we also want to do some AR around clothing, so only clothing, and we want to do like these more like integrated stuff that can be done with the tech, not only blockchain, of course. We do think that there is space for um, doing interesting stuff around stories and aggregated layer that world a fictional world can give you. So I think I missed talking about the other world because I mentioned this kind of like Kung Fu Panda, uh, but set in the ancient Tawantinsuyo region. But the other one is a fictional timeline where the Metasuyo was not, but rather it found a way to collaborate with European powers, um, kind of in a way that Japan did, but with a little more of autonomy. It all started when like reading and studying about this initial contact. There is an entry in uh, Francisco Pizarro, which is the conqueror, well, the initial conqueror of the country. Um, he says that if they the Spaniards had not arrived when the Tahuantinsuyo was, there was no way that any European power could have taken the richest country he has ever seen, because of course there were so many resources and such an advanced and complex societal, military, logistic organization in the Inca nation. But when it was it was such an awful timing, because the Spaniards came when it was the first time that an Inca had been defeated by basically a civil war. So that's like the context where the conquest happened. And what we propose is what would have happened if there wouldn't have been a civil war, how civilization would have progressed. Um, Again, not in a through the lens of being conquered, but rather being uh, creating partnerships and creating commercial relationships. And we want this to be an opportunity to reimagine our own society, first fictionally, but always thinking about how much of this can actually be true, can uh, or is starting to happen already, but we want to like focus the conversation in there. So kind of like Wakanda, but Inca, and tied to reality, and not written by people in the US, but actually people in here. And that's something that we really want to uh, do and build slowly with products that feel and look futuristic. So explore these technologies as a means to inspire to think how our culture could be reinstated, and not only fall to a second grade citizen that has been the case since the arrival of the right. And that's something that we think, and we really want to take a center stage in that conversation. We want our products to feel that way. Again, as a means to inspire how we can reimagine our own society and what we build with all of these ancient knowledge, but also these new and frontier cutting edge technologies. So yeah, we're gonna be integrating all of this stuff progressively, of course.
Exciting, yeah. And it's great to hear that you're getting some support from the government there to continue on the project. Are there any other ways that you've been raising funds? Have you participated in Gitcoin recently, or are you on Giveth or anything?
We haven't yet. I want to think about Giveth or in Gitcoin. What is it that we're proposing? Because uh, I know it's not always the case, but I do feel that Gitcoin makes more sense for a public good, and we want to really articulate well what is it about uh, that we're doing that falls into that category. And we do have a space for that, of course. Um, like for example, we're building this library of resources on how to get deeper into the cosmovision, into the history, into the actual roots, and not only like a more academical biased point of view, but also uh, stuff written by community leaders and stewards from for this ancient knowledge. So that's something that we do think about as an open resource. We want to see more fiction, not only like the one that we write. Of course, we want to see more fiction exploring or or ancient roots, and that might be something that we start as a campaign in Gitcoin or Giveth. We're just like we haven't really thought about that yet. I have run some Gitcoin campaigns in the past. I know they are a lot of effort, not always uh, equal results. So we're not prioritizing that right now. Might do it like later in the year. And what we are exploring is we want to we're gonna be using Base. So we want to explore grants with Base in the build-a-thon that they are doing for Chain Summer. uh, I'm very active in Forecaster, so I do want to do something with frames as well. And yeah, so it's more around that and figuring out what is it that we can find in blockchain that goes aligned with what we're doing right now. I do know that there are so many other things that I am not really considering, but that could be helpful for us. Uh, for example, I used to be an ambassador for Celo here in Peru, and Celo, of course, is focused on impact, on regenerative finance, and I know there must be an integration that I'm missing right now, but could work. So yeah, So if there's anything that I'm missing, I'm of course super happy to see it and to as soon as we can like get a deep look into it and see what we can do with all of the opportunities that crypto has. Um, yeah, yeah, that's kind of how we're thinking about it right now.
That sounds like a good approach. I posted a link to on-chain summer build-a-thon, a mirror post
Mm-hmm.
from EAS. Is on-chain summer more broad than just about attestations? Is that just one section of it?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
On-chain summer it involves a lot of um, there is also a heavy point of view regarding culture and how culture can be built on chain. Actually, I think that that's one of the best things that Base is doing. To me, most of the mistakes that blockchains do when they think about ecosystem development is that they focus only on the technical side of it. But to me, like that's it's not that all of the technicalities have been solved, but I believe that in order to move to a next stage for blockchain adoption and creation of new use cases, there must be a heavier focus on culture creation and not only technical value. So I think Base is thinking very thoughtfully and very um, with much care about that, and that's something that calls that really resonates with what we want to do. So that's why we are exploring that ecosystem. And yeah, on Summer involves a lot more than only attestations. Um, and I think Ethereum at large, at least Ethereum Foundation, is thinking this way as well. They are including for the opportunities for scholarships for DebCon, um, writers that involve how these technologies, of course, blockchain based technologies, can create a better future. And they are, I think it was uh, the scholarship is both for I think solarpunk. I want to say writers and sci-fi writers or something like that. But it involved two types of writers, and yeah, I think that's a testament to way of seeing culture as not only like a nice to have or something fun, but as an actual driver of adoption. Um, and yeah, I think that's been the case since 2020 with NFTs and all of the people that got onboarded because of I don't know like crypto gaming and art and the people that are using NFTs for ticketing and they don't even need to know that there are NFTs behind their tickets. And yeah, I think that's a space where everything in space is moving to that direction, and we want to be a part of that as well.
Very exciting. I posted some links there for the base on-chain summer. It actually says if anyone is interested, they have a countdown that says applications close in 3 days. Um,
Mm.
so if there's any last minute people that want to jump on the build-a-thon, there's a lot going on there. They've got sponsors including Stripe, Shopify, Farcasters, Aura, Fleek, Third Web, Nouns, Aerodrome, and Synthetics. We have some metagamers that are helping out with Synthetics. And you recently did something with Nouns with your other project, right, Luis?
Yeah, so in the educational community that we have, we've been doing a lot of refocusing culture, and I believe that now is one of the best examples of open innovation around culture as well. So we've been doing some collaborations with them. We hosted the Global Pixel Party uh, in Lima, but it's also been the first time that it's being organized in other cities beyond Lima. So that same party also happened in Cusco. It happened in Trujillo, which is the city that I come from, which is a coastal city up north in Peru, and Huancayo, which is a small city that has barely had any kind of tech events. And it was like the first thing that they had that connected to this wider world of on-chain experiences. So I think that was a very big success to have people coming from other cities and to share in the metaverse, but while being also in real life, come together. And we look forward to have a lot more of that. Nouns is a big ally to do that. Um, and it's been also interesting to think how nouns can help different breaks that exist within the country and that care not only about art but also products and how nouns can be an excuse for interdisciplinary collaboration. Uh, that's been super fun to see it. That we at Cryptomigos is the name of my community, and we won. A grant from Nouns Amigos, which is the Latin American Spanish sub-DAO of Nouns, and we've been doing workshops around fashion, around music, and around video games, all of course on chain. And that's also been a very interesting experience because I think that right now that if there used to be a lot of rejectment, sorry, oh, I don't know what.
Mhm.
If there used to be a lot of rejectment towards crypto in general, at least in 2021 to 2022, that's no longer the case. Like people are more willing to hear what is it that can be done with the tech rather than speculate on it. And I believe that's been very, in a way, it's been a surprise, a very good surprise, and also very, of course, validating of the direction that we are taking, both with the workshops and with the project of Metasuyo itself. Yeah, that's
Cool.
the news.
Is that the right link?
Yeah, I'll share the link right now to know,
Yeah,
check that
feel
out.
free to share any links, and we would love to see some of if you're able to share any of the art from Metasuyo.
Oh yeah, right. I had some to share and I completely forgot about that. Like I'm gonna do that like real quick as I need to leave in a bit because
Okay.
it's the birthday of my sister and I they are waiting for me
Ah,
to, yeah. But give me a sec and I think I can share this.
happy birthday.
Can you look at this? Yeah, I think it works, right? Is it
Yep.
working?
It's
Awesome.
showing.
Yeah.
See some
Uh,
headphones.
yeah. So, yeah, just starting with something very like basic, like we're doing. So in the fiction, in the media area, we're doing music and we're doing uh, reading stories, short stories. And we would love to do some comics or animation, but that's beyond like the scope of what we can do right now. So we're gonna be doing some like short animatics with voiceover. but that's like the way that we're starting. We've been doing some songs like that are more like lo-fi, but what we actually want to do is we want to do um, a couple of fictional artists that exist within this world of alternate history. So, for example, of course, they're just headphones, but this is the symbol of a goddess in the cosmo in the Andean cosmovision, and we've been like exploring some of these characters. Oh, this is from the other world. The the one that is it's called Animandes. The one that I said it was like animals, but with a cosmovision this region. So this is what we call a kui, kind of like a hamster, and this would be a vicuña, like the more it's same family of same species, same family of species than a llama. This is one of the music producers that we are exploring, kind of like how it would look with AI, and we will be doing like a final revision of the looks with an actual artist. Yeah, Aku is kind of a guinea pig. It has some differences, the Kui and the guinea pig. Not exactly the same. Um, this is, for example, based on an I don't know how you say this word, but it's a community that is very close to Cusco. It's called Chinchero. Actually, the international airport built in Cusco is going to be next to their community, and they are specialized in textile, in very detailed textile. And we've been talking with them, and because they are going to be building a fab lab, so um, a space for digital fabrication, I think is the word. So 3D printing, um, laser cutting. I think it's. I'm sorry if I'm missing the words. Yeah,
Nope,
yeah, but
you're doing it.
they're building like a lab, but especially for fashion, and of course that this has been a amazing timing because the community is willing to talk about this. They are excited about what's going to happen, and this is in preparation before they have the airport. So they want to have different and exotic products to show once that's active. This is the other artist that we want to explore. Uh, we haven't really got into that specific look yet, because we're kind of deciding if we want to go all AI in this or we want to have a real model behind it. Um, so we are talking with some models in Cusco and to see if basically how would that work. Um, that this is like another iteration of the same um, character. Of course, like all of these characters have lore behind them. They have a place in this larger world that we are imagining. This is so I don't know if you've seen Lo-Fi Girl, but this is like this YouTube channel where there's like a girl listening to music while she does her homework. So we wanted to do something like that. That's why the headphones and stuff like that. We wanted to do that, but in a room that looks, of course, within the concepts of our world. Uh, and again, this is a character that has been well received in the events that we've done here um, in Lima and in Cusco, in Trujillo as well. So he's Tico, that's his name. Tico, it's again a Kui. Um, we want uh, we wanted this character to be kind of like a Kuis in the cosmovision, have a healing role. So um, they can be kind of like mischievous, kind of um, kind of like roguish characters in the cosmovision, but they are when they are part of rituals. It's always for healing. So we wanted to explore that as well. Um, and well, again, play a lot with the herbs and the role that it has. No, these are not AI. So some of these, for example, this is from an illustrator. This is AI. This is AI. This is AI as well. This is not AI. This is an illustrator that we work with. So Animandes is the one that has more of the illustrators focus, and the other one is mostly AI. We've also done some illustrators for the other project, but I don't have them right here right now. This is the other character. Uh, she's called Yachi, and she's kind of like a priest. So there is um, these places where women were only it was only allowed for women, and they had different roles, but some of them were more focused on magic and knowledge and the arts. So very elite characters, by the way, and we wanted to do something like that uh, to display that the role of the woman in Tehuantisuyo was much more central, much more important that it is, of course, in the societal structure that we then got imposed by the conquerors. And yeah, that these are some of the character illustrations that I wanted to share. Um, and I, of course, can share one of like the songs that we have just released like a couple of weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. Um, so you can like share it as well. Um, yeah, just put that on the chat. So yeah, I hope that some of these are interesting. Like again, we're just getting started with of these. I love that. I don't know. I love Tico with the noun that knuckles. Like I didn't really know that we could pull this off, but it seems like people like it as well. And of course, like we're really looking forward to hear feedback. If you have some, like feel free to write to me like in private, or just like share your comments in here. And yeah, again, like I'll need to right now, but it's been wonderful to talk with you and share what we're building in Metasuyo. We're really looking forward to do more collaborations, more of course start publishing all of these. We haven't really got into like marketing um, right now, but that's also going to start uh, in July, regardless of whether the product comes that same month. And yeah, we want to start building in public. We want to start sharing a lot of these because there is so much to discuss behind the looks of it. And yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing and taking the time on your sister's birthday. Feliz cumpleaños. Happy birthday. Yeah, these look amazing. I really love the illustrations. The AI, of course, is great to get a good idea. And uh, what 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 model are you using to do these? They're really well done, even the AI.
Oh
It's
yeah,
engaging.
this is Mid Journey actually.
Okay.
Um, we're also gonna be with some of these are. Uh, no, I think I don't have them right here. But yeah, now we're gonna be starting uh, creating our own, training our own models based on stable diffusions. And I've also been using a scenario. This is also cool, and I really recommend that one as well, especially for character. That's that's been very interesting to use. We've been using it for characters. Yeah. So yeah. Thank you so much for the time. I really look forward to talk with you soon. And um, yeah, if there's anything else that we should talk or like you think would be interesting, like I'm really open to discuss and get to know more about each of you.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us and sharing it. I love all the aspects of what you have going on. It sounds exciting. Sounds like you have momentum and that there's like you said, engagement. All the illustrations and art look really amazing. And Yeah, if you want to come back and join us anytime and talk, we have people popping in. We like to kind of cross pollinate, and like Obi-Wan was a guest with us a few, I don't know, a month or so ago as well. And so if we can continue to help make collaborations happen, we're totally here for that to help connect people.
Awesome.
And yeah, if you have any ideas for playbooks on the kind of things that you're working with, I think that there's a lot of good information that you probably have a good grasp on that could be relevant for other people. Check out our academy. Feel
Cool.
free to think about adding anything to that.
Yeah, I will for sure. So, you all, thanks for having me, and I'll totally look for the resources and if there's something that I can contribute. Bye bye.
Bye.